For all those F11ers out there, this one is for you. If you've just spent the last 45 minutes running around on the coast in coastal towns, you can't find any food, or the food you found is rotten, you're only finding dead bodies that you can't do anything with. Let me blow your mind. If those dead bodies were cut up to begin with, you can use the bones and make a bone knife. That way at first you have at least some sort of protection. You can continue on with a long stick and make a spear, which is even better. If you combine 6 rags and 6 rags with some sticks, you can have rope. If you combine that rope with the long stick, you can have a fishing rod, an improvised one, which isn't as good as a regular one. However, it's still an opportunity to get food. Take the bone knife from before, combine it with the remainder of the bones. You now have bone hook, which isn't as good as a regular metal hook, but it still works for you to get food. Keep going with the bone knife, which only has like 4 uses in it. Dig around in the soil near the water. You can get worms. Combine that with a hook, you now have bait. And then you can fish. Now you can get more bones from the fish, and it's a repeating cycle. That way you can get food. Now you don't need a human body per se to get bones from. It can be anything somebody left behind. It can be an animal, it can be a fish, it can be a person. Whatever it is, as long as it has bones on it, you can use it. You can set snares around for animals, okay, with just sticks and rope. You can make traps. And if there's not a body of water anywhere near you, you can run around in the forest and look for mushrooms, although some of them aren't healthy to eat. You can find apples if there are apple trees nearby, which aren't hard to spot. And even if there's not any around you, if you hang around long enough, there's apparently some sort of like RNG system that ensures like 5 out of 6 times an apple spawns or some shit. I don't know the exact fucking formula because I don't work at Bohemia. But rest assured, if you find an apple orchard or some shit, and you just keep running around for like 5-10 minutes, chances are you'll probably find some apples, and there you go. You won't die. If you've just sat a fireplace down, and you're like, holy fuck, dude, what should I do? Should I cook it? Should I boil it? Should I smoke it? Cooking gives you both water and food. Boiling it also does that. Although I think it gives you more water to a greater extent because, I mean, you are boiling it in water, right? And then smoking only gives you hunger, however, it preserves it the most. So if you want to preserve food and hang on to it, smoking is probably the way you go. If you're sick of not having a stand or like you have a pot you've been carrying around for the last 3 hours but you've never used it, you can combine, I think it's 2 long sticks to make a cooking stand over a regular basic fire. And you can use the cooking pot. However, it doesn't last for long because they're wooden sticks over a fire. So keep that in mind. However, you can use it for a couple uses, no problem. Different foods in DayZ will give you different amounts. Usually all the canned items give you about the same amount, maybe a little bit less, a little bit more, depending on what it is. Baked beans give you the most, unknown food gives you the most, and I believe it's just fat will give you the most, or at least it did before they nerfed fat immensely. Now if you find an unknown food can, you should really hang on to it. I know it might give you a chance to get sick, but I mean, I'd rather be sick than, fucking dead, right? That's just me. If you have raw food, and you're just gonna eat it just to eat it, it might make you sick depending on what it is. If it's raw fruit, then you're just fucking fine, no big deal. If it's actual like meat, then you should cook it before you eat it or you will potentially get sick. It will harm you. Unless you don't have time to cook it or you're in a dangerous situation. I get it, man, shit happens. The optimal scenario is that you should cook the food. And as we've discussed previously, the methods of cooking are entirely up to you. Smoking does, however, take a little bit longer, but that makes sense because it's allowing you to keep it for longer. It stays for longer. It's preserved. So that's the trade-off. If you've opened up cans of food before with different objects, you've probably noticed that opening it with different objects affects it differently. I'm not trying to say that in a smart-ass way. Actually, I kind of am. Because if you notice when you're playing the game, you can open a can with a sledgehammer, a knife, or a can opener. I'm just using extreme examples. Let's say you open a can of sardines with a sledgehammer. You're gonna get maybe a bite out of those sardines at most, because you just bashed it fucking open with a sledgehammer as hard as you could. Now, you opened it with a knife. You might get 3 out of 4 bites out of it because you used it with a knife. The knife isn't very good, but it is it's good, it's okay. The can opener is obviously the best, most objective thing to be using because it's literally in the name, can opener. You open cans with it. However, not everybody has them, so. In previous updates, the knife used to be just about the equivalent of a can opener, but they've since nerfed it because it's a can opener, right? This also goes with certain foods. So if you're peeling a fruit or some shit, actually, I think you need to have a knife to do it. I haven't tried it, but it just kind of tracks with that sort of deal. So just pay attention to what the fuck you're using. You know what I mean? And if it's the only thing you have and you're dying, then so be it, man. Fuck it. If you just picked up a water bottle or a container in the middle of nowhere that can hold liquids, it may or may not be poisoned. You know, somebody could have left it there. It could have just spawned fucked up because, believe it or not, that does happen. There is like a chance if shit isn't disinfected and it's spawned, then it could get you sick. So if you don't have disinfectant on you, then maybe don't play Russian roulette with the container. Just keep whatever you already have. If you don't have anything, maybe take the gamble. It's like a 20 or 15% chance or some shit. It's low, but it happens. And even if it's already been on somebody's body, that doesn't mean you should trust it because they might have gotten sick from it themselves. You are drinking after somebody else, right? So just pay fucking attention, man. And I know I already advised against going to wells, but wells really are the only option for clean, trustable water. Sometimes you can get away with getting it out of a creek because it's moving water, not stagnant water, but even then, sometimes it happens, so you need to be careful and just pay attention. It's a good rule of thumb, but it's not always accurate. For 100%, 110% fucking safety, use a well, although it's not safe because somebody could be watching the well because you have to let down your guard if you drink from the well. If you're setting up a campfire outside in the middle of the woods, wherever the fuck you want to put it, you don't have a grill, you're just figuring shit out for the first time, you can sharpen a stick with whatever else you have on hand. That way you can cook food without needing a fire, like an actual brick and mortar fireplace. Keep in mind though, it takes much longer than having a cooking pot or a grill, because you have to do it piece by piece, so you might be more vulnerable while this is happening. If you decide to go the hunting route, bears and wolves are toxic as of the last few updates. Predator meat is now toxic, it will kill you, so don't eat it. Don't ask me why. I guess they just want to discourage people eating bears and wolves. Don't ask me why, it's not my game. You're free to bitch about it in the comment section all you like, but this has been a change that's been around for months now. Get used to it. Now, for other animals out there, depending on what you use to hunt them, that could either ruin the meat or have it in a very good condition, depending on where you hit them, how you hit them, what you're using, how many times you've hit them, etc. It's like actual hunting, okay? You might fuck up the meat because you used 308, 762, you shot them center mass, so you fucked up them. You just need to be careful how you're doing it, okay? I'm not sure if damaged versus warm meat really matters that much because you're still eating it right, but I don't know, it might go bad quicker, or you might just have less of it because it's damaged. Either way, just be careful. A lot of people love to sleep on the crafting in this game, but it's definitely gotten me out of a very few tense, precarious situations, so if you have absolutely nothing else going on in the environment around you, nothing you can see for miles, go get a couple short sticks out of the bushes, a long stick, some firewood, set yourself up, man. At the very least, you can get a heat buff. That way, you can keep your hunger and water going down 1 bar instead of 2 or 3 whenever you're sprinting. By the way, to circle back to the bear or wolf meat, it looks exactly the same as any other meat, so if you cook it, you can potentially feed it to somebody else, with them being none the wiser. So, You know, because it's visually indistinguishable, because they have to use the same fucking texture for everything. So you could just feed them toxic meat, play it off as, some other meat, and be like, yeah, dude, I was feeding you this chicken steak this whole time, or some fucking bullshit you managed to tell them. And they might believe you, so you could potentially kill your ally and take their shit for free. Just think about it, man. Plenty of possibilities. The Ternaris is your oyster, man. And to circle back to the traps thing, there are actually water traps. So if you combine a knife with a water bottle, I think that might be it actually. You can make a water bottle fish trap. It's a water bottle net or something. Anyway, it works passively to catch you fish. Or a fucking crab or something. I'm mixing up mods and vanilla. Anyway, it catches shit for you, so that's one less thing for you to worry about if you have a spare water bottle that you don't trust. You just picked it up off of somebody, you're like, hot damn, this can literally save my fucking ass. Throw it in the water, and let it go. I can't remember if you have to bait them or not actually, but you just stick it in the water, really, and that's it. Now, if you have a really long railroad track, it doesn't have to be a railroad track, but I think small stones spawn there a lot. Just keep running down it and try to keep a lookout for small stones. They're hard to tell because they're on top of like a rock texture already, but if you combine, I think it's like 2 or 3 small stones together, you can get a stone knife. So you don't even really need to find a knife, go into town or anything. You can be a survivalist, live off the land. You don't have to go into town, dude. You can find almost everything you need out in nature. You don't need towns for shit. You can make that fishing pole, make that spear, because you already have the stone knife. Although I don't think you can sharpen them. But the stone knife should be able to get you going, at least from nothing, right? The bad side is you're going to be spending like 20 minutes finding the second stone to combine with it, but I mean, hey, it's better than nothing. I don't know if this one is a rumor or just a myth or whatever the fuck you want to call it. But if you're in a wolf area, like there might be wolves around, you're hearing howling, that means they've already spawned. But anyway, if you have meat on you, they might come towards you because they smell it. Whether or not this is actually true or not, I'm not sure, but maybe it's really worth the try throwing all the meat out of your inventory once you hear that howling. Because they might already be on you already at that point. It could just be conjecture, it could just be a fucking wives' tale, okay? I'm just throwing it out there. If you have absolutely no water at all around you, maybe consider waiting for it to rain. Have a container on you, and just lay it on the ground. That way, you'll be able to collect rainwater, and if the container is safe, then you can just literally drink the rainwater. It might take a little bit to gather, but it's better than nothing, okay? So there's another one. If you're totally absolutely new to the game, take a look in the inventory with the clothes you're wearing, mouse over them, and it'll tell you the insulation you have. So the key is you want to have better insulation. High insulation, best, are usually what you want to go for. If you have worse insulation, this will make you cold, it'll make your hunger and thirst go down quicker. You want better clothing, and so that's what you need to be on the lookout for. Now you can tan clothing from pelts, but I've never really got much into it myself. However, it is an option. If you have no idea what a heat buff is, let me explain it to you. If you make a fire, if you're on Namask or Sakal or something and you're out of food, make a fire, stick around it for 5 minutes at least. There will be a plus symbol next to your temperature, and this means that you will have a buffer against the heat, or against the cold, which means that you can run around effectively, protected against the environment for a few minutes to help you find food and water, or better clothing. This might mean the difference between living and dying. So if you're concerned about it, throw up a fire.